Duel Nature by Eken. Yes, we've all decided to take a poll. We've all agreed. And after much deliberation, we decided we're going to stick with that pronunciation until the end of the story. After 13, Shipwrecked. Twice spine spun as she tried to come to terms with the sudden realization. She had been so sure she had the identity of the mole figured out. She blinded herself to the possibility it was somebody other than the professor. Bronzebell removed the hood of his cloak. He at least had the good sense to look embarrassed and refused to meet Twilight's gaze. Hi, Twilight. I'm really sorry about this, he said. A million questions came to Twilight in a flash, but she settled on asking the only one that seemed to be really matter. Why? Why are you doing all this? Are you kidding? This could be the greatest archaeological find of the last 1,000 years. Think about all the artifacts and lost treasures that must have squirreled away in a hoard somewhere. Even better, think about the kind of things it must know. If we could communicate with it, we have a primary source to tell us about tens of thousands of years of history. All the magics to control it are already built into Luna and Celestia Seal. The potential boon is enormous, said Bronze, forgetting to look chastised as he got caught up in the excitement. As we told you back at the museum, we are not going to allow that to happen, said Luna, stepping into the back room followed by Reynolds. Hello, Bronzebed. Would you like to introduce us to your friend here? Gundark Giggles removed her own hood. Twilight was surprised to not even see a hint of arrogance to Pegasus displayed back at the temple in her expression. Instead, she looked like she was on the verge of a panic attack. Bronze, don't get close to her. That's the crazy psycho unicorn who came in after us in the temple. But this doesn't happen at all. We were looking for the dagger and she showed up to stop us. When my crew tried to calm her down, she lured them to the temple's trucks and let them die. I only barely got away, and only because my dear friend Amber Booty stayed behind to hold her off while we escaped back up the tunnel. I'll never forget her sacrifice, said Gundrop, sniffling through crocodile tears as she wove her tail. Ample is just fine, actually. No thanks to you. You're the one who's psycho around here, said Twilight, crouching down into a combat stance. Residual magic from the ongoing ritual teased at the ends of her sentences. Having that much ambient energy flowing around would make any fight a risky proposition. If she used magic that was too intense, it could level the entire warehouse, or worse. Gumdrop is my friend, Twilight. Don't call her a psycho, said Bronze. She's your friend? Asked Twilight, incredulous. Bronze, she's using you. This isn't how friends act. She is too, my friend. If you're playing those things, I'm just some weird nerd, because I like to talk about ancient civilizations and artifacts and stuff. No one wanted anything to do with me before her. But she thinks that ancient legends about stuff like Ouroboros are interesting. She wanted to be around me and help me figure out the ritual, but nobody else did, said Bronze through watery eyes. Twilight's eyes darted over Gundrop, standing behind Bronze. Now that Bronze's attention was fixated on Twilight, her expression of concern had fallen away to reveal a wicked smirk. There had to be some way to get to Bronze. Bronze! I wanted to. I wanted to be your friend. I really like you, even now. It's not too late to stop about this and talk about it, said Twilight, her voice soft and sincere. Bronze's glare softened a little, and he even gave a small smile. Eh, I can't believe you tried to manipulate him like that, Twilight. Honestly, I wish those rocks he dropped on you in front of me seeing had finished you off, said Gundrop Giggles. Bronze's eyes went wide in alarm as Twilight processed what Gundrop just said. When it finally registered, her passion and sympathy were obliterated by fiery rage. You was running bastard! That was you! How could you, you monster! Twilight hissed as her horned eyes glowed. Forget collateral damage. These two needed to die painfully. Sparkle! Take it easy, said Reynolds. It took all of her willpower for Twilight to keep herself from tearing over the edge of self-control and doing something very, very stupid. Twilight, I swear I wasn't trying to hurt you. That part was an accident. I was just trying to scare you guys. Maybe make the museum shut down so I could get the information you and Luna gave me over to Gumdrop Giggles. I didn't want the hardest rocks to land on you, really, said Bronze, shrinking away from the enraged mare. Why should I believe you? Why should I believe anything either of you say? I hate you, Bronze Bell. Both of you are horrible ponies. Can't believe I ever thought I liked you, said Twilight. Bronze whimpered as she shook and fit Twilight's venom-laced words. Angry as she was, Twilight decided to press her luck. She reached out with her magic and grabbed hold of the artifacts, the plate. Before she could pull it towards her, Gundrop pinned against the floor with a hoof. Stop that, and I'll stop on it right now, she said. Twilight reluctantly let go. You will not permit the seal to be undone, even if we did believe your intentions for doing so were noble, said Luna. No pony shall wield that power, for the Ouroboros represents. That sort of concentration of power in one pony's hooves is dangerous and irresponsible. Oh, well, sweet coming from you, princess, said Gundrop's giggles. You don't seem all concerned about all that power you and your sister have. How's this any different? Seems to me you just don't like the idea of having a competition. We have been first to admit that we have misused our powers at times, but we strive to make responsible use of them to provide for our opponents. We have learned that much about using them responsibly. You're talking about bringing back a power which you do not experience or wish to understand, or using it as a weapon. You have to get that kind of power because you're better than us. Good to know. Sorry, but I don't buy that for a second. Frankly, I don't need to approve. We're done here, said Gundrop. Before any others could react, she lifted the plate high in the air and smashed it down against the bowl, over the artifact shattering the impact. With the old balls on my back, Cole, no, you can stop us, princess. Nothing happened. Gundrop eagle cackle slowed to a more nefarious chuckle, stopped entirely. Lords, what's going on? You are easy to welcome, she asked. It is working. Seal's unraveling. Should be undone enough for Ouroboros to manifest within the next couple of hours, said Bronze. The next couple of hours? Why didn't you see something? I thought it would all be instantaneous and demonic and stuff. The first of the ritual that does that required a blood sacrifice. I'm not hurting another pony just to save a few hours, said Bronze. Hate to interrupt, but I think it's say you're both under arrest. Princess, can you stabilize the seal? Asked Riles. His heart was slowly glowing. At the current rate of degradation, we believe we can maintain it long enough for Celestia to get here. Together, we'll be able to implement a more permanent solution, she said. Bronze sighed, dropped his head. Okay, I guess we surrender then, he said. Not here, no surrender. You said we need a blood sacrifice tonight, said Gundrop, taking the dagger in a huff. We use Twilight. What's the old stallion in the back there? Twilight couldn't suppress a vicious grin. Oh, please tell me you're going to try. I still owe you for backing the temple. I bet you aren't so tough without a couple of dozen goons backing you up. Before Twilight could line up a clear shot, Bronzebell stepped between the two of them. Both of you, stop it. Second boy's getting hurt because of me. Gundrop, you're my friend no matter what Twilight says. Twilight, I'd like to be your friend too someday. If you could ever forgive me for what I did to you in the museum, the summoning ritual isn't worth losing either one of you. Please, both of you just stop. Gundrop giggles blinked a few times, for Twilight to Bronze. Lance, you mean it? You give up on your bows, just like that. Bronze stood in front of Gundrop and put a hoof on her shoulder. Of course I would. Some things are just more important, said Bronze with a trusting, gentle smile. Wow. I guess it just goes to show you guys. Yeah, that there are some things worth more valuable than money, power, and fame. Hmm. Well, guys, I suppose we're nearing the end. I guess we can now all enjoy seeing these characters move on to a new stage of their life. Such a wonderful, happy emotion that Gundrop giggles, thrust the dagger deep into his chest. That motherless cur! That's too bad! Bronze staggered backwards in shock into the ritual circle, as Gundrop yanked a now bloody dagger out of the afflicted blade, sent it droplets splattering onto the floor. Bronzebell collapsed, and the rooms around the circle began to glow. Bronze! Twilight cried out, but she was forced away by a fresh surge of magic rippling out from the circle. The furious rush of light sent her reeling. This seal's deteriorating too quickly. We are not able to maintain it, said Luna from somewhere nearby. There was a sound of breaking glass, and a moment later, Twilight's face had cleared enough for her to see again. Gundark Giggles was gone, having escaped through a broken second-story window. Twilight screamed in frustration. Crossbow groaned from the middle of the puddle of blood, realized he was still alive. Twilight rushed to his side, pressing her hose against his gusty wound in his chest. Twilight, I think I messed it all up, said Bronze, voice a weak shout like it had been. No, it's not that bad. We can fix this. We can fix you up. The princess knows all sorts of healing magic. Right, princess? Asked Twilight, looking desperately towards Luna. But Luna just bit her lip and turned away without answering. Anyone ever tell you you're a bad liar, Twilight? Maybe I deserved this. So, I knew Gumdrops did bad things, but I don't know what I thought. Maybe just being selfish. You don't, Bronze. If anything, it was her who didn't deserve you. Maybe we met sooner. If things were different, I could have shown you that you're more sportsful than you ever even think. Even if ponies around here never saw it. I saw it, I swear I did. Please hold on, Bronze, said Twilight through the tears that were beginning to fall. I was swallowed up in a pool of blood that I did. I almost asked you out earlier, right before you left for the temple. But I had just given you the fake location. If you found out, I would have died of embarrassment. Guess I don't have to worry about that now, huh? Bronze tried to laugh, but degenerated into hacking belief at a cost. That really hurts. Don't try to talk if it hurts, Bronze. You don't have to say anything to me. I understand, said Twilight, cradling his head in her lap. Lights in his eyes were fading away. They were half shut. I just hope you could try to stop hating me for what I've done someday, said Bronze, letting his eyes close for the last time. Bronze, no, I'm sorry I said that. I was just so mad when I found out. I don't hate you. I couldn't. Please don't think that. But Bronze Bell was already gone. For a long minute, Twilight just sat there next to his body, staring at her own bloody hooves, trying to will herself to believe that this wasn't really happening. Surely she would wake up any moment now in her bed, and this would turn out an awful dream. She never did. Twilight, she heard Ryle say something behind her. A few seconds later, she stood up, but didn't turn around. She could feel the ground trembling under her feet. Something was coming. Something big. Luna, try to keep as much of the steel intact as you can, when more falls at this. Do whatever worked last time. Captain, let the authorities know what we're dealing with here. They'll probably want to evacuate as much of Pensacola as possible. It won't be easy in the middle of the night like this. I'm going to find Gundrak Giggles, said Twilight. Twilight, we sense the ritual was successful. Gundrak will be able to use the diagram to control the subject once manifested. We must be cautious. None of us should challenge her without some sort of plan, said Luna. I'll figure something out, said Twilight. With a burst of teleportation magic, she vanished from the room, leaving Riles and Luna alone with Bronze's remains. Part 2. Twilight reappeared a moment later on a rooftop not far from the warehouse she just left. She gasped in pain, not for the exertion of traveling so far. It was as a dull and pleasant ache compared to the emotional tempest that was welling up inside her chest. She tried to walk to the edge of the rooftop, but her hose were still tacky with Bronze's brine blood, and she had to pull hard with every step she took. She was only halfway there before she stopped. What was the point? Twilight let herself collapse there, flopping down onto the gravelly rooftop and laying still. Other than her slow rising and falling chest as she breathed. That's more than Bronze has now, she thought. She even cried before. By all rights she should be crying again. For some reason she wouldn't. She couldn't. There wasn't any sorrow left in her. She was just so damn tired. Twilight hadn't been quite sure how long she had been laying there, when she felt the roof beneath her begin to shake. She felt this a few minutes ago, but it was getting worse. Her elevation was only just enough to get her to roll over and twitch a little. Another tremor. They were definitely getting closer together. Twilight forced herself back into her hose. From her vantage point, she could see the wire in the base starting to bubble and churn, feel the agitation in the air around her. At least Gundrak Giggles would be easy to find. She seemed like the kind who wanted to rub in the fact she had won. Just the name crossing her mind filled Twilight with a fresh surge of anger. It wasn't the same as the white-hot rage that swept her up when she found out that it had been Bronze that nearly killed her. This was cold, focused. This she could use. The magic dancing in the air, coincided as the seal finally gave away. Ouroboros, now made manifest in a physical form once again, rose for the harbor. Twilight gate. A head emerged first. Rose does forward so quickly that she had the chance to make out the overall rhyme-hole shape with 4 eyes, 2 on each side, and every one the size of a boulder. The creature towered over the city, and even from the rooftop she was standing on, she had to crane her neck to look up at it. Its serpentine body was thick as a half-dozen ponies lined up to the end, while Twilight found herself staring at the pale underbelly. But as it twisted, she could see its back, and side and back are covered in mottled blue-green scales. Ouroboros snorted, sending a downpour of seawater and something sticky. Twilight tried not to take once about onto the pentacle of rooftops. Taking a deep breath, let out a bellowing roar that shook the city deep down to the last tree and brick. Twilight realized her knees were shaking and closed her eyes. Taking a deep breath, she steadied herself, reinforced the defensive wards around her, teleported down to the street, and strode forth towards the water. Twilight arrived at the shoreline a few minutes later, stepping onto the beach. The spot had been easy to find. The surface attention had been fixed onto the general area she was standing in now. She looked down at the bright moonlight, reflected from the waves lapping at the shore. It seemed like gleaming off the blade of the dagger, held by the Pegasus a dozen miles away. "Oh, you've got to be kidding me," said Gundam. "You lost, Twilight. The only part left is to see how far you can run before my new friend here catches and devours you. Not that I don't appreciate you saving me the trouble of holding you down. And, and before you try whatever little plan you devised, Orbos, block or defend anything she tries to throw or shoot at me." Twilight fired a blast of energy at the Pegasus, but the bulky tail of the Ouroboros already shot out of the water and reposed itself between the two of them with impossible speed. Twilight's attack struck its skillet guard and burst harmlessly. A few flashes of her wings later, a gundrop was perched on the top of his massive body, idly twirling the dagger around one hearth. "Well, really pleasant plan there. My turn to show off my pet's other tricks. See that beach house a couple of blocks over that way? I actually can't. There's a bunch of other houses in the way, and you're down there. We're breaking into that house while the owners were on vacation to vault the place. It was the first time I ever got busted by the cops. Spent 6 months at juvie. 6 months! I totally missed my sophomore year spring funeral. I'll start justice. Lobos, smash that house with your face." The rider above Twilight saw the monster's head freeze suddenly and twitched, rocked back and forth for a moment before plummeting towards the point Gundrop had pointed, crashing into it and shaking the ground beneath Twilight's hooves. The beast slacked mighty and landed into space where it had struck the water, carving a path of collateral damage to the several blocks of housing. Thinking she might have an opening, Twilight loosed an airbolt of magic at Gundrop, but again the beast interposed its own body between them and the shot was wasted. "Did you see that? Look, I know how you're all goody-goody and hate me and all, but you cannot at least try to appreciate how awesome this is for me? How absolutely bucked you are. Did killing rods just break you or something? And this is just you committing suicide so you can be with your lovely little smooshy kids? Because it looks a lot like that. Rods was going on all afternoon about how wonderful and smart and special you were. Ugh, so annoying. If it makes you feel any better, I would have gone around and knifing him eventually if you hadn't forced my hoof. But it's always an extra satisfying to kill 2 birds with one god-summoning blood magic ritual, wouldn't you, Cynthia?" said Gundrop. Twilight didn't dignify Gundrop's banter with any response. Instead, she focused her telekinesis onto a small patch of sand between them. With one sweeping motion, she cleared a trench a few deep into the ground, leaving a pile of excavated sand situated on the edge. "You're digging your own grave now? Not that I don't appreciate the gesture, but frankly, you're starting to bore me. I got a massive invisible goal of the sea, and you got a hole. Not even that much deep of a hole. So come on, spit it. What's your plan? I know there's no counter magic for the summoning. I might serve that much. And if you found something like that, you have a cost it already. So, your brilliant scheme is what? Gonna give me a big speech about how what I'm doing is wrong? Expect me to suddenly see the magic of friendship surrender? You should find some other ancient sea god you can summon to fight mine, like maybe a super huge oyster or something. Come on, I know you got something, said Gumdrop. Well, she could always summon Godzilla. That would be awesome, though. Twilight looked up at her, tilted her head to the side like she was considering it. Finally, she spoke. No, I don't actually have any good ideas that I think could beat you. Just this, she said. With that, Twilight wrapped a dagger in telekinesis and yanked as hard as she could. She would have been overjoyed if she actually managed to disarm the Pegasus right there, but Gundrop held on. Though she was surged forward, once she spread her powerful wings and started flapping them, Twilight found that the magic she was able to bring to bear wasn't enough. Gundrop retrained her grip on the artifact. Tug of war. Your clever plans to play tug of war. Okay, I was wrong. You and Bronze were perfect for one another. You're both pathetic. Let go and I'll see that you die somewhat painlessly, said Gundrop, having fought Twilight to a stalemate. Twilight tried and reached out to extend her magic under Gundrop giggles herself. This is almost always a bad idea, as ponies, especially when they knew the caster was there and actively resisting the effect, usually shook off being lifted and moved around. It was a testament to Twilight's ability as she managed to extend her magic around one of Gundrop's wings. Firming up her grip, she snapped her head to the side subconsciously, torqued her magic, ringing the wing like a disk trowel. Gundrop screamed in agony. But Twilight didn't relent until she felt every one of the 16 major bones in the wing snapped at least once. You bitch! More balls, get! said Gundrop, but as far as she got. Now Gundrop had suddenly lost any leverage she had over the dagger. Twilight easily yanked it into the hole, dragging the pink Pegasus along with it. With a single thought, she swept a pile of sand back over the crevasse she had created a moment ago. Refusing to let go of the dagger, Gundrop was half buried along with it. Just her rear legs and tail were sticking out of the sand. Twilight saw her try to brace and pull herself out with her rear legs, but she could also feel the dagger she was holding under the sand keep it firmly in place. Gundrop could keep holding onto the dagger, or she could breathe, but not both. 30 seconds later of desperate tugging later, Twilight was beginning to wonder which path Gundrop would choose. Out of all this, Twilight kept a wary eye on the Ouroboros itself, but the serpent seemed disinterested and dazed without any commands to guide it. Finally, Gundrop released the dagger and wrenched herself out of the sand, gasping for air. What's the matter, pirate Billy? Can't handle a bit of buried treasure? Asked Twilight, pulling the dagger up out of the sand towards herself. Despite her gasping for air a moment ago, Gundrop was a quick sprinter and hot on the metaphorical heels of the dagger. Twilight wasn't about to raise a shield unless Gundrop and the dagger were on the opposite sides of it. So, two ponies collided at the same moment the dagger reached Twilight. The two traded blows, not wasting more energy on words. Gundrop was clearly no stranger to hoof fights. Despite the pain Twilight's telekinesis kept the dagger away from her scrambling hooves, Twilight scored a lucky hit with one of her rear knees to Gundrop's belly, took the window of opportunity to finally grip the dagger properly, screamed, Ouroboros, return to the sea! Ouroboros didn't stir. Gundrop swore a cruel grin as he took advantage of Twilight's distracted to pounce on her once again, as he wrapped the unicorn in a power of painful chokehold. Solid. The individual ball to it to one pony, on only one pony. Me. She says. Twilight rolled her forward, threw her off herself, wishing she took stock of her own wounds. She still had the dagger, at least, but Gundrop seemed more amused than injured by her attempts to strike at her. I've already won. Don't you get it? I'm bound to my god. You're up to some unicorn who thinks he's important. You know what? I'll even give you a free shot. Stop me. I won't stop you. Gundrop fell back on the beats, spread her forelegs apart, looking upward at nothing. This was Twilight's chance. She grasped the dagger and hesitated. What are you waiting for, Twilight? Stop me. Take advantage of it before I change my mind, said Gundrop. Twilight raised the dagger. She could solve everything now. Take her down, avenge Bronze, stop Ouroboros. She was far too eager. It took everything Twilight had not to plunge that knife straight to Gundrop's heart. She knew that it would feel good. She knew it would end the reign of terror Gundrop was playing, but it would be wrong. The whole thing felt wrong. You only need to be touching it, don't you? I touch you with this dagger again. You get the chance to put another aura to Ouroboros, said Twilight. It was rhetorical. Twilight lowered the dagger to her side as she recognized the trap Gundrop said. She really sprung at her. I stab you with this dagger. I'm giving you exactly what you want. You take a bad injury, and you tell that thing to kill me? Sorry. No, I said to stop me. To stop that, sit that thing right here, said Gundrop, indicating her own chest with desperate abandon. Instead, Twilight took the chance to examine the dagger with all her senses. She could feel the connection between it, Gundrop, and the Ouroboros. It was the work of only a few seconds to shatter the connection entirely. Twilight was watching for any change in Ouroboros' behavior. Since he destroyed the hole the dagger had over it, the serpent began to stare again. I'm not going to stab you, Gundrop, but I will tell you that Bronze was a better pony than he could ever have hoped to be. Even if he wasn't the colt I thought he was. She looked up at the creature driving towards them. Smiled as she looked back down at her victim. Goodbye, Gundrop Kiggles. Twilight said. In a blinding flash she was gone. The unicorn no longer standing over her. Gundrop Giggles finally got a clear view of what the oncoming force of nature she had controlled as it rushed toward to advance its mistreatment. Oh, fuck me, was all she commanded before her former servant crashed down on her. Twilight reappeared some ways down the beach, heaving for breath. The hoof-to-hoof fight took a great deal out of her. She could only stumble away from the scene of carnage she had just set in motion. She never felt so tired before in her life. Halfway to the beach's exit, she collapsed. She turned to look at the beach where Gundrop Giggles had been laying, and only saw a crater. Ouroboros had turned a massive chunk of beach away when he had bitten down on its former master. Twilight looked up. She could see the serpent head towards her as it swallowed a chunk of beach it had just bitten down. Clearly, it wasn't interested in whether or not she had freed it. Ouroboros was ready to wipe out any pony it saw, guilty or otherwise. Too exhausted to do anything more, Twilight closed her eyes and awaited her fate. Everything went black. Twilight Sparkler, that was the most irresponsible of you. We would have been more than happy to assist you had you asked. It's fortunate we arrived when we did, said an extremely familiar voice. Una? ventured Twilight. Indubitably, said the voice. Twilight opened her eyes again, but her whole world was still darkness. Still kind of blind here. The ground beneath her shook, as if it had been struck by something else. Our defenses against the forces that are raised against thee also block out the light. We suggest you deal with it. You have other senses. Employ them. Honestly, who ever heard of a guardian of the Princess of the Night who could not see in the dark? Twilight grimaced. That was most reckless of you, to confront Gundrop and Ouroboros without a plan or any backup. Well, it all worked out in the end, right? I mean, I think it did. Even if Ouroboros had finished me off, it would have been worth it. Gundrop can't hurt any pony now, said Twilight. Twilight felt a sharp blow on her cheek and staggered to her side. You stupid fool! Are you really so nuts? Are you so truly selfish that you could take such chances and think that actions weigh only upon yourself? That there are no other ponies who care for your well-being? How deluded are you, Twilight Sparkle? We thought you by now that you were precious to us. Princess, began Twilight. The world shook under an unseen blow once more. Yet, seaside idle prowler, get over thyself, as you are instructed to. Art thou injured by Bronze's treachery? Well, so are we. Remember, we have been with thee during the whole duration of thy interaction with him. We now have felt this deeply for him, but we are just as sickened by this act. We did not let it drive us to take such rash action, though. Ouroboros is risen. We cannot defeat it alone, and our sister is several hours away. Though we have sent word to her regarding the urgency of the situation. You are the most powerful unicorn available to us within this city. Nay, within all the Equestria. We need your help. We ought to have any chance of protecting this city. We must work as a team, said Luna. Twilight stared. Within the blackness of the hemispherical shield Luna had created, only the glow of the lunar goddess cast in a horn in any light at all. That's enough to illuminate her glaring eyes. I don't know how I can help, Luna. Ouroboros could shrug off any spell I throw at. I'm not certain there's anything I can do to stop it, said Twilight, as if confirming her claims. Something heavy slammed against Luna's barrier. Luna seemed shaken by the impact. The dagger, Twilight Sparkle. Its original purpose was not to control Ouroboros, but to defeat it. We activate the original atomics it uses, and you may have some hope. We have several subtle methods we can employ to gain our attention. And we will keep Ouroboros occupied for as long as possible, said Luna. A moment later, Ouroboros slammed into the shield a final time, shattering it. Moonlight rushed back into the void, and Twilight blinked while her eyes readjusted. Ouroboros was far more interested in the pony standing by her side. Lawrence had to regard Luna up close, tearing on the birds and recognizing the pony who played in its equal role, sealing away to first place. Luna had already edged that the process once she spread her wings and sprung forwards and upwards, driving horror into the creature's exposed eye. The creature's head whipped upwards and let out a powerful scream of pain, squeezing the affected eye shut. Luna, her starry flowing mane now coated in ruining fluid, continued upwards and out over the wire, drawing Ouroboros' attention away from twilight, into town. As bolts of moonfire rained from the sky, as Luna unleashed her power against the creature. Twilight didn't have time to appreciate the display. She puzzled over the dagger, prying the enchantments that run through it, trying to make sense of them all. The spells had held up for a millennium and a half, but for a moment, Twilight feared that all the abuses it had been through the last hour might have somehow damaged it. Then she felt it. There was a void deep in the core of the spell, waiting to be filled. Twilight couldn't tell what it would do, but it must be what Luna had been referring to. She went up to the bay where Luna was doing her best to keep Ouroboros occupied. Princess had moved her fight to the rocky shoals some way down the beach, away from the center of Pensacola. Storm clouds had gathered from nowhere. A localized downpour was obscuring her view of the princess, except when a flash of lightning struck, gave Twilight a quick view of her silhouette. Between the cover and her opening attack to the monster's eye, Twilight guessed Luna was just stalling for time. Though her attacks did seem to be hurting the serpent, it didn't look too much worse for wear. Twilight took a deep breath and poured her magic into the dagger, filling the void with her own power. She felt it course through the relic, reawakening the long dormant spell that had been woven into it. The blade began to glow the purple color of her magic. Suddenly, light and flame burst from the flame. Purple fire billowed forth and coalesced into an edge. What had been a dagger with just a few inches long became a 5-foot-long blade of perfect guarantee, hovering in front of her face. Twilight stared at awe at the weapon, wrapping it cautiously in the grip of her magic, inked tentatively. If anything, it was lighter now than the dagger had been a sense of herself. This is so unbelievably awesome. Before she could gain better of it, she reached out and touched the blade's edge with her hoof, sharper than anything she had ever felt before. But it didn't cut her. After all, Twilight reasoned, it was just her own magic given form. Twilight suddenly felt a wave of dizziness pass over her. She hadn't noticed her horn was still glowing. The blade wasn't fixed or permanent. It was drawing its own power from her. Already stretched to her limit by the day's trials, she wasn't sure how long she could keep it up. Whatever she was going to do, she had to do it quickly. "All right, you overgrown Lumbericus Rebellus," said Twilight. "Let's do this." Riles had reached the prior, right around the same time Ouroboros had emerged from the sea. He had been to several different police stations and rural guard posts, warning the inhabitants of what was coming. They had dispatched messengers of their own to spread word to the city had to be evacuated, but after the serpent's roar nearly deafened him, in sight that the rest of Pensacola's citizens probably already knew he was coming. "Attention everyone! There's a giant snake incoming your way, ready to catch us all. Please, escape in a panic fashion. Thank you." "Oh, gosh darn you, neighborhood watch committee!" He could just get away with the evacuation. There were probably more important things he could be doing right now anyway. He boarded to tranquility, began to fuss at the rigging, beginning the preparations to cast off. His work was interrupted when he heard a voice from below deck. "Hey, Luna, Twilight, Captain Reynolds, let's, uh, let's get it on here. Can I have permission to come out of this room?" Ample. He forgot she was there. "No, you can't. Not right now," he yelled back. He had to get her off the boat before he left, but he wasn't ready to deal with that now. So he was unpleasantly surprised a moment later when Ample walked down the deck, holding what looked like to be a hastily assembled shield for a wooden piece of chair, and a scraped of metal, a small strip of leather. "How? How? Princess Lewis says he bound you with an oath to stay in that room," said Reynolds. "Right, unless I ask for permission to come out. I never promised I'd stay there if one of you say no," said Ample with a grin. "Now, unless you think I'm going to you want to try and stop me." Reynolds thought about it for a moment. "All right, see you later then," he said as he turned back to the roping untying. Ample booted Blades a few times, surprised by his nonchalance. "Huh, so I figured you're trying to stop me. Aren't you a royal guard or something?" I have bigger fish to fry right now. Literally, look right behind you. Ample glared down, suspecting a trick of some sort. Once she decided that Reynolds probably wouldn't jump at her at the instant, she looked away. She glanced over her shoulder, getting a glimpse of the Ouroboros. She did a double take back at Reynolds and turned back to keep at the beast. She did it. She absolutely did it, said Ample to nobody in particular. So what? You're running away now? Good idea. But maybe now that our crew basically owns the ocean, a boat isn't the way to go. I'm not running away from it. I'm running towards it, said Riles. That's beyond stupid. Why would you do that? Asked Ample. The pair looked up as the monster suddenly slammed its body and head down to the city, crunching at least a dozen homes under its impressive bulk. That's right. Because ponies are getting hurt, and they'll keep getting hurt until Pony does something about it. No way. Captain Giggles didn't say anything about hurting any pony. We were only going to use the old boats to farm some buzzard tips, sell the cargo, and live like princesses ourselves. You know, live the good life, said Ample. Riles wanted to scream at her, but that wouldn't help any pony. This wasn't a time to waste arguing. He looked to a moment to calm himself before he spoke again. Look, Ample, Captain Giggles is bad news. She let you drown or be eaten by a sea pony earlier today, didn't she? When Ample didn't say anything in response, Riles continued, Does she have any pony here in Pensacola? The two stared at each other for a few moments. Ample seized the captain up with a long glare. The wire around the docks was beginning to grow rougher. Riles had been wondering if he'd been able to handle the tranquility and the dancing white caps. I have a sister, and her husband, and her son, my nephew, said Ample, biting her lip. She had chosen not to mention it, but their home wasn't very far from Ouroboros had come crashing down a moment ago. Go find them. Get them out of here, and yourself. What are you going to do? Sail to that monster puppet with his beak? I'm going to buy time. If I get distracted for 5-10 minutes, the guards will have much more time to evacuate citizens. That'll mean a few dozen lives that would otherwise been lost, said Riles, pulling a knot that didn't seem to want to be untied. Ample glanced at the real implications. But you don't stand a chance against that thing. You'd be killed. Maybe. Probably. Some things are worth it, though. That's why I signed up with the guard in the first place. Now quit wasting time and get going, said Riles, turning back once again to his work. He channeled his concern and frustration to yanking on the tangled rope. Let's bear this way. Maybe Ample would be able to help some pony who really needed it. You know there's an easier way to do that, right? What are you talking about? A club it? Here, get out of the way and I'll show you how to undo that, said Ample. She shoved Riles off to the side, and with a quick motion, the stubborn knot was undone. Ample felt Riles sizing her up with a look. I'm not going anywhere, she said. You can't handle this boat on your own. You need a first mate at the very least. I'm used to being here by myself. It isn't something I want to drag anybody else into. You don't owe me anything, Ample. Get out of here, said Riles. Ample scoffed. Obviously I don't owe anybody anything. On the other hand, if you think I'm going to let my crew find out the guy who captured me was some pony who can't even untie a decent knot, you've got another thing coming. When to believe? Riles could only grin. Right now, hold on to something, he said as he pulled to the open mainsail. The tranquility groaned and began to pull away out the dock. Off on the beach in the distance, a purple light flared. They may have a chance for all. Tommy panted for breath as he reached the edge of the turbulent, sharping shoal where Luna had engaged Ouroboros. She was fit, but sprinting a half-mile to reach the edge of the tempest that was raging in front of her, and left her drained, panting for air. I said, all right, you, overgrown, capricious, rebellious, let's, you know what, forget it, you aren't even listening to me anyway, said Twilight. She hoisted her weapon in front of her. It was amazing. Every time she passed in front of her, she struggled not to become bewitched by it again. A coil of Ouroboros was only a few lengths where it stood. The beast was still focused on Luna. Twilight wasn't likely to get better shot than this. She pried about the cutting edge of her blade down against the scaly Ouroboros. She expected some sort of feedback or resistance to the weapon. But no. It cut through the monster like he wasn't even there. The flesh before her split open as the blade passed through like tissue paper for an open fire hydrant. Ouroboros screamed. There wasn't a better word for it. As unearthly confusing as the sound was, some things, it seemed, were universal. And aside to this, Twilight realized a moment too late, Was the beast's full attention was now entirely on her. Although the cuts he inflicted looked like an awful wound, it barely more than a distraction to the thing that suddenly wheeled around to face her. One of those bolts of lightning struck the side of his face, leaving a sense mark, but doing nothing to divert its attention as it glared down at her. She could see in its eyes it knew the blade she wielded. Seeing little alternative, Twilight dove the current of driving rain in front of her, taking cover in Luna's storm. She popped the bubble in wards that could have blocked out the rain, and was immediately drenched. The void would have stood out, and Twilight needed every iota of concealment she could get. It was situations like this that reminded her that blades made of solidified, glowing purple magic were really not the most practical things in the world. Twilight pressed her soaking wet bangs out of her eyes, but this did little to improve her ability to see. All she could hear or see was turning water. The heavy rain and spraying sea water mixing together to a point where Twilight was sure she one end ended and the other began. Even though the water she was standing in was only a few inches deep, she could feel its pull, trying to throw her into the jagged, pointy rocks around her. Twilight felt a rush of movement. Even through the storm, she teleported away, just as a thick slab of muscle crashed down to the spot she had been standing. She appeared somewhere else in the storm, disoriented, not quite able to get her bearings as the wind pelted her face. She landed roughly and began to flail, lashing out only with her sword. She felt it nick something. Another scream told Twilight she found her mark. In the confusion, it was impossible to tell if she was doing any permanent damage or was causing pain. Teleporting away again before she could retaliate against her, she found herself back to where she started, somewhere new. It was impossible to tell, and everything around her was a dark gray wall of wet. Twilight felt something lightly touch her back. Falling back on reflex, she whipped around, slashing at a sword as she went, only to feel it stop short. Wrapped around a field of dark blue magic, a few inches from the Princess Luna's face, illuminated by the glow of her horn. Luna glanced over at the sword, and then back at Twilight, and raised a quizzical eyebrow. Sorry, Twilight mouthed, rather than trying to be heard over the gale around them. Response, she felt herself being lifted up onto Luna's back, and the princess took off straight upward, carrying her through the haze above the thick layer of storm clouds, then pouring onto the rain around them. Twilight shook herself off as best she could, as Luna landed on the cloud. Well done, Twilight. Our magics are not proving as effective as we hoped they would. Our blade is our last and best hope, said Luna. I can't tell if it's working, Princess. Or if ours is just too big. Just randomly cutting it won't go work, said Twilight. Luna nodded. We agree. That's why you must. That's as far as he got before Ouroboros burst through the clouds and slammed into her from beneath, sending her flying, and Twilight tumbling off her back straight to the clouds. Without Luna's concentration, making it rain, it vanished. The skies cleared. Twilight came to her senses, tumbling through the air, and every moment bringing her further towards the ocean's surface. She remembered reading somewhere that beyond a certain speed, a pony was better off falling into cobblestone than water. Something about surface tension? There was a spell for this, right? There had to be. A slow fall spell, or turn a few cubic meters of water into a soft downing feather spell. Something. Why couldn't she think of anything? Her mind was still racing when she felt the impact. It wasn't what she expected. Instead of the harsh slime of a solid surface, whatever she hit was yielding and stretching around her. She had almost slowed to a stop when she heard the unmistakable sound of tearing fabric and began to fall again, striking something solid a moment later. Nice catch, Captain, but you can't wreck our mainsail, said a voice Twilight found familiar, but couldn't quite place. She opened her eyes, happy not to be dead, even the collective aches and pains that were catching up with her, making her seriously consider that position. She registered she was on a boat. What kind of idiot would be out on a boat at a time like this? Hey there, Sparkle. Anybody ever tell you really know how to make an entrance? That much she knew. Captain Reynolds, what are you doing out here? You should run. She was more than a little out of it. Her weapon reverted to an inert dagger once more, climbing onto the deck of tranquility. If that edge was gone, so was her hope of defeating Ouroboros. She had to warn them to get away. To staying out here would only get them killed. Opening her mouth to cry out, but all that escaped her lip was a feeble whimper. By Twilight, are you okay? You're safe now, said Ample, peering at the edge of her fist and poking at her side. Why are you even here? Asked Twilight. Ample just smiled. I never really got to thank you properly for saving my life back there. We're even now, by the way, so don't go counting on me to put your flank out of the fire from now on, got it? Both of you, shut up! Princess Luna's in trouble. Twilight lifted her head just enough to glance towards the sea monster in front of them. It was twisting and writhing. Twilight could make out the glow of Luna's magic weaving in and out of Ouroboros' coils. She tried to say something, but took her several false starts before she could form coherent words. Move closer. Violet turned to look at her, confused by the request. Is your sight closer? Move closer to it. I can fix this, said Twilight as she forced herself back into her hooves. She needs our help. Grasping the dagger and magic, she stumbled towards the prow. Violet turned the wheel in the boat, and once more upwards towards the sea serpent. Fighting against the currents, their progress was halting and slow. Screw this. We all can't make it in time at this rate, said Ample. Luna, if you got any of that weather magic guns, we can use a boost here. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Luna burst out of the serpent's grasp and ascended to the sky. For a moment she stopped, outstretched wings silhouetted in the moonlight. The Tranquility sails suddenly filled as the air right behind them shifted. They were gliding along the water faster than Twilight had ever felt the boat move, practically soaring on top of the water. Unfortunately, an unmoving alicorn princess made for an inviting target. Ouroboros surged upward again, snapping his claws shut around the princess. The surge of air around them slowed to a gentle breeze, even as their momentum propelled them closer to the body of the serpent. Ample and Riles gasped. Twilight let out a full-frontal scream as Luna disappeared. Grasped by a mix of shock and fury, her exhaustion was forgotten. Magic flared till the dagger sprung back to life, longer and brighter than before. No longer concerned for her own safety, Twilight ducked under the guardrail and brought down to the tip of the prow, hoisting the blade before her. She heard Riles shout something from behind her before he abandoned the wheel. They were out of control and on a collision course now. Ouroboros looked down at the boat, but his head suddenly jerked upwards, exposing a soft, pale underbelly as the beast fought against the enemy within. Seconds before the tip of the boat collided with the preoccupied monster, Twilight pushed off and teleported one more time upward. Her Tranquility continued forward, smashing itself into pieces against the beast. Twilight reappeared just below Ouroboros' chin. Flipping her head forward for emphasis, she drove the magical blade deep into the beast's neck and throat, pouring every bit of air into her quickly fading wave of adrenaline into it. There was no scream this time, just a sick, pain-gurgling as Twilight fed the tip of the blade with her. She made no effort to slow her body down, but put everything into a strike, leaving a long, jagged gash slicing through the creature's body. Only halfway down, Twilight's vision began to blur. Seconds later, her willpower finally gave out once and for all. Utterly drained and exhausted, the dagger sputtered and died as Twilight blacked out, before she could even strike the surface of the water.